Life will never be here. Life will never.
So the very least from today, what I want you to have a better understanding is where you are now, okay, because we've got to start with that, where you want to be, and what you need to do to really get set up for the next 90 days and the year ahead. So you've got two workbooks. The Making the Most of the Year is slightly thinner. You'll notice there's some pages missing. I had to rip them out yesterday. I did a presentation at Retford B4B about 18 months ago, and these were the workbooks that I used that really show that there's a balance between life and work. So we're going to pull in this workbook that's been produced with a friend of mine called Rowan Dredge, who's an Australian. So if there's any Australian spellings in there, I apologise, but it is something we've done together. And it's also the 90-day planning workshop that I was party to. It's an Action International. Some of you have been coached by Action in the past, I know. It was one of their programs. It was a really good program of getting people to think about their business plan, pull it out of the filing cabinet and do something with it, and think what they needed to do, not just their objectives, their goals, but the activity of the next 90 days. And the one thing I would say is that today is a workshop. It's not a seminar, it's not a presentation, it is a workshop where you're going to do some work, keys in the word, and you're not leaving here until you've got a completed 90-day plan. Now a couple of people have always said, oh, I need to be going by 4 o'clock, so if you finish your plan you can go home. If you can't, then you're stopping. But it is really important. What I don't want you to do is make notes and then go away and say, when you've gone away from the workshop, start putting it together, because you go away from here, business starts to take control, and before you know it, you've not got your plan done. And I think you find that from the boot camp that we did, there was too much that followed on from it. So today is about getting it done today. If people start to get a bit too warm and a bit too cold, then let us know, because obviously I've turned the air conditioning up a little bit, but as we've got more bodies in now, it might start getting a little bit warmer. Bonus for attending. No real sales catches or anything like that, but what we have following on from this is a Lead Blitz program, which is another R&D project. I was talking to Barry about this earlier on. A friend of mine and somebody I work with, and now Barry works with Tacky Moore, again another Australian, does a Lead Blitz program, and it's about generating lots of leads into the business in a very short space of time, 28 days. So we're going to be running that as a program of workshops, webinars, worksheets, etc. So you'll all get access to that. You don't have to subscribe to anything, you get it because you're here today as a thank you for coming along. So you'll all get that. And we're running another 2-day business success boot camp in September. I've got the date for it, I've just agreed it with Steve this morning, and you'll all get a free seat on that 2-day boot camp if you want it as well.
Two following days or separate again?
It's going to be 2 separate days, yeah. And I know a couple of people here who were on that, and obviously today, the 90-day planning session, one of the things that they had as a bonus was being able to come to today's planning session as well, and as well as some clients in the room, because there's probably a 50-50 split of clients in the room and non-clients in the room, so we've got a good mix. Before I talk a little bit about me, there's two things I want to do. One, I wanted to go around the room and sort of just get you to introduce yourself, and I've got, following on from Paul Swinford, I've got a nice buzzer on my iPad now, so if you start talking for more than 30 seconds it's going to buzz and tell you to shut up. But also I wanted to share a quick poem with you. Okay. Normally I like to put videos and what have you up, but one of the things that Rowan did was send me across this when we were looking at the programme, and it's called The Dash. I don't know if any of you have heard it. The Dash? Yeah. So I'm sorry you heard it again.
No, I'd like to hear it again.
So I'll just read it out. I'm not very good at reading poetry, so excuse me if it doesn't rhyme particularly well, but you'll get the gist of it. It says, I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on a tombstone, from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth, and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and how only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, what would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? A little bit about me. For those of you who already heard this several times, I won't bore you too much, but there are some new people in the room. I've been coaching businesses now since 1992, but only been paid for it for the last 5 years, because I used to do a lot with my own company and with other construction companies, but it's about real experience, and I'm trying to think if there's something that I can say that you don't know about me. What one thing could I say? As well as doing the businesses, running a British Superbike team, being in the construction industry, one of the things I also used to do, I used to be the organiser of a jet ski stunt team that probably most of you don't know about. Just like something different. And I used to go around all the different shows, and I saw a photo of this the other day, and I've actually immortalised, if you like, because as we used to go round, we used to have a guy take photos, and I saw one of the t-shirts that he produced, and I was on the front of the t-shirt on my jet ski doing this particular stunt called a submarine, where you go under the water and come back up again. So something you don't know about me, but you thought you knew everything, you see. This 90-day planning that we're talking about today, I've done this. I mean, I've had coaches myself, as I mentioned Action before, for over 20 years. So this 90-day process I've done myself and continue to do myself, and have done for at least 17 of those years. And I have to say 97%, because people don't believe me when I say 100%, but I've never ever missed a goal that's been on my 90-day plan in 17 years. Never. But for the sake of regularity, 97%, just in case one of it might have been slightly off. And obviously we use this as part of our one-to-one programs and group coaching programs as well. So clients now, we're going to run these every 3 months. So every client will get the opportunity to come to this event every 3 months as part of the program and work through their 90-day plan. So that's the idea behind this. And as I say, my specialism is in construction industry, and I work with a lot of financial advisors as well. And I'm passionate about living and growth. Audiobooks are my thing, as a few of you know. So I listen to audiobooks all the time, and if there's a few books that we'll probably mention today, so please jot them down. I'm not going to send you a reading list or anything like that, but please jot books down as we go along. And if you want the audio versions of that, one of the sites that I use, and I don't get any kickback, so nothing in it for me, but it's Audible, audible.co.uk. If you want to do audiobooks, it's a really good way of doing it. You pay $7.99 a month, and you get any book, one book per month, included in that package. You don't pay anything extra. So I always pick the expensive books and then download them as part of my $7.99 subscription. But you do get some really good business books on Audible. So this is part of the 5 Steps to Freedom coaching system, and knowing most of the businesses around the room as I do, I would say that we've got quite a wide range of people. We've got Alistair, who you're probably just in the process of even looking at creation, all the way up to people who are looking at freedom and prosperity. So a real good mix of people in the room today. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out and share it with each other. In your packs you will see this, you don't need to turn to it yet, but we're going to cover some of the areas of money, team and time. So my general belief is, and I don't think anybody disagrees, that you need to build the money pot first in your business. You need to focus on the money building activities, your sales, your marketing, your business planning. Marketing will help you with that, your strategic planning of the business, and then look at how you put that into team, which obviously Barry's going to talk a bit later on about, whether that's a team that's in-house, outsourced. Even your bank relationship manager is part of your team. You need these people to crew your ship, you need these people on board, so that's your team. And the more money you've got, the better team you can have. You don't need to pick things because of cost. You pick them because of expertise if you build the money pot, and then once you get the team and the money right, then you can start getting time from your business. Unfortunately for new startups, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Alistair, if you think this, but you can't start working on the team until you've got the other two, really. Yeah, so you've got to get the time first. So what we're going to cover today, number one place you should start, 3 strategies that separate most entrepreneurs from the top 5% and how you can implement those in the next 90 days. And then we're going to complete your 90-day success plan. We're then going to have a look, because the worst thing you can do is like New Year's Eve, you sit there, you set all your New Year's resolutions, and then you'll go away with your plan from today and not actually implement it or get it working. So we're going to look at some ways of getting that motivation held, and we're also going to look at the way of getting some leverage so that you're held accountable to that plan. Yeah. Any of you go away from today who aren't clients, you need some way to hold you to account, and we're going to look at different ways that you can hold yourself account for that as well.
Life will never